Let us begin with the body, because that is where the signal always arrives first. Long before the mind has the language, long before the calendar can confirm the celestial alignment, the body knows. For the last 24, perhaps 48 hours, you have felt it. A low, persistent heat behind your navel. A warmth that is not illness and not anxiety, but something else. Something ancient. You have felt a restlessness in your hips, a sense that they need to open, to release a tension you cannot name, a tension that has been stored there for years, perhaps lifetimes. Your sleep has been strange. Not nightmares, but vivid, symbolic dreams that dissolve upon waking, leaving behind only an emotional residue, a feeling of immense pressure or imminent breakthrough. You have chalked it up to stress, to the season, to something you ate. You have tried to ignore it. But you are here now, and that tells me the signal has become too loud to ignore. I need you to understand that what you are feeling is not random. It is not yours alone. It is a resonance. Your body, in its infinite wisdom, is vibrating in harmony with a shift that has just occurred in the heavens. A shift so profound, its effects will ripple through the very foundation of your life for the next 18 months. Since yesterday, the great planet Jupiter, the guru, the titan of expansion, luck, and truth, has moved. It has left the mutable airy sign of Gemini and entered the cardinal liquid depths of Cancer. This is not a subtle transit. This is the sound of a key, millennia old, turning in a lock that has been sealed for over a decade. This is the opening of what the ancient Chaldean stargazers called the Ruby Gate. The energy of Jupiter is one of magnification. Whatever it touches, it expands. It does not discriminate. It makes small things bigger. It makes hidden things visible. It turns whispers into declarations. For the last year, it has been expanding your mind, your ideas, your connections, your curiosity. It has been a time of scattering seeds, of learning, of speaking, of seeing multiple paths at once. But now, it has moved into the most tender, most private, most ancestral sign of the zodiac. It has moved into the sign of the mother, of the home, of the emotional body, of the deep, hidden wellspring from which all our feelings emerge. Jupiter is no longer expanding your mind. It is expanding your heart. It is expanding your gut. It is expanding the pressure of every unnamed truth you have carried in the silent cellar of your soul. This is why your body feels strange. The heat you feel is the friction of expansion. The pressure you feel is the weight of a truth that has outgrown its container. For 12 years, this part of your life, this deep emotional root system, has been tended by other forces, quieter forces. But Jupiter's arrival is the arrival of a king returning to his forgotten country. It is loud, it is benevolent, but it is uncompromising. It demands to see everything. It wants to throw open the shutters, to air out the rooms that have been kept dark, to bless the foundations and repair the cracks. And the first thing it does is take inventory. The first thing it does is apply pressure to see what is strong, what is weak, and what has been sealed away for so long that you have forgotten it is even there. There is a story from a pre-Babylonian text about the god Marduk, who corresponds to Jupiter. It is said that before he could bring order to the cosmos, he first had to descend into the primordial ocean of Tiamat, the great mother of chaos. He did not descend to fight, not at first. He descended to listen. He had to feel the currents of what was, the ancient griefs, the foundational longings, the chaotic and untamed creative force that existed before name and form. He had to let the pressure of that deep water press upon him, so he could understand the nature of the material he was about to shape. You are in that descent now. Jupiter is not acting upon you from a distance. It has submerged you. You are feeling the pressure of your own emotional ocean, the deep water of your own history, your lineage, your unexpressed needs. That feeling in your gut is the current of Tiamat. That heat is the presence of Marduk within you, taking inventory, preparing to create a new order. Not an order imposed from the outside, but an order that emerges from the honest recognition of what is truly there. This is not a time for spiritual bypassing. This is not a time for positive affirmations pasted over a deep, resonant ache. This is a time for radical, courageous honesty with the self. The ruby gate is not a gate to a paradise you enter. It is a gate to a cellar you have locked, a cellar where you have stored the most potent, most volatile, most precious truths about what you truly need, who you truly love, and what you can no longer tolerate. For 12 years, that door has remained shut. You have walked past it every day. Perhaps you even forgot what was behind it. You told yourself the contents were too dangerous, too disruptive. You told yourself that to open it would be to destroy the carefully constructed order of your life. And perhaps, for a time, that was true. But Jupiter's arrival is a divine announcement. The contents have finished fermenting. What was once volatile has now become potent. What was once a poison has now, through pressure and time, become a medicine. But medicine, if left in the dark, can turn back into poison. It is meant to be used. The pressure you feel is the wine straining against the old wood of the cask. It is ready. The question is, are you? Let us speak of this cellar more clearly. It is not a place of shame. It is a place of sacred preservation. Think of the great wine cellars of old monasteries. Monks would store the harvest, the essence of a year's sun and rain and soil in the deep, quiet dark. They knew that for the juice to become wine, it needed pressure, darkness, and time. It needed to be sealed away from the light, where it could wrestle with itself, where the sugars could die and be reborn as spirit. This is what you have been doing. That decision you never made, the one that felt too costly. That conversation you never had, the one that you knew would change everything. That deep, quiet longing for a different kind of life, a different quality of love, a different sense of home. The one you dismissed as a childish fantasy. These were not mistakes. These were not acts of cowardice. These were grapes, harvested and brought into the cellar of your being. You placed them in the dark because you knew, on some soul level, that they were not yet ready. The timing was not right. You were not yet the person who could handle the potency of that vintage. But Jupiter's transit through Cancer is the cosmic signal that the fermentation is complete. The pressure is a sign of readiness, not a sign of impending disaster. It is the signature of a truth that has reached its full potency. And now, the great benefactor of the cosmos is standing before the cellar door, key in hand, and he is not asking for permission. He is announcing that it is time for the tasting. The discomfort you feel, the emotional churning, the sense of being overwhelmed. This is not punishment. This is the draw. This is the energy of Jupiter pulling on the contents of that cellar, drawing the truth to the surface. It says, I am here to expand this. I am here to bless this. I am here to bring this out into the light so it can nourish your life, not sit in the dark and turn to vinegar. So feel into your body again. That tightness in your solar plexus. That is the lock on the cellar door. For some of you, It has been rusted shut with years of telling yourself, "It's fine. I'm fine. This is just how things are." For others, it is barred by the fear of disappointing people, of disrupting the peace, of being seen as selfish or difficult. For still others, it is sealed with the grief of past attempts, times when you tried to speak a truth and were punished or misunderstood for it. Jupiter's energy is a divine solvent. It is dissolving the rust. It is lifting the bar. It is healing the grief. It does not force the door open. It simply removes the impediments to you opening it yourself. It restores your divine right to access your own deepest knowing. This is an act of grace. But grace can feel terrifying when you have become accustomed to living in a smaller space than your soul requires. The next 72 hours are critical. This is the period of the initial pressure wave. The key has turned. The tumblers have fallen. The mechanism of the lock has shifted. The door is now unsealed. It may not be open yet, but it is no longer locked. During this window, the whispers from the cellar will be at their clearest. The physical sensations will be at their most pronounced. This is the time to listen not with your ears, but with your entire body. The voice that whispers, "This is not it." The sudden wave of sadness that washes over you for no apparent reason. The flash of anger at a small injustice that feels disproportionate to the event. The overwhelming urge to walk away from a situation that, on the surface, seems perfectly acceptable. These are not moods. These are transmissions from the cellar. This is the wine speaking. It is telling you its nature. It is telling you it is ready. There is an ancient Vedic concept of Brihaspati, the Sanskrit name for Jupiter. Brihaspati is the guru of the gods. He is the keeper of sacred speech, of the words that create worlds. He is vast, compassionate, and his wisdom is boundless. But a guru does not give you answers. A true guru creates the conditions in which you can find your own. He applies pressure in the exact right place to force you to grow beyond your perceived limitations. He asks the question that shatters your illusions. This transit is Brihaspati entering the temple of your heart, and he is asking one question. It echoes in the heat in your belly and the ache in your hips. The question is this: what truth have you been starving in the dark? He is not asking you to burn your life down. He is asking you to nourish it with what is real. He is reminding you that the purpose of that stored truth was not eternal preservation. It was transformation. It was meant to become the spirit that animates the next chapter of your life. To leave it in the cellar now, at this precise moment, is to let it spoil. And the pain of a spoiled truth, a truth that has turned to bitter vinegar within you, is a far greater pain than the temporary chaos of opening the door. This energy will ask you to redefine your understanding of home. Cancer is the sign of home, but this is not just about the physical place you live. It is about your body as your primary home. It is about your relationships as a home. It is about your work as a home for your soul's expression. Jupiter's transit here will expand any area where you feel emotionally homeless. It will put unbearable pressure on any situation where you are pretending to be at home when your soul is sleeping on the street. If you are in a relationship that has become a polite fiction, a place where you are cared for but not truly seen, Jupiter will expand the silence between you until it is deafening. It will magnify the unspoken needs until they are screaming in your cells. This is not punishment. This is a call to create a truer home. If you are in a job that pays the bills but starves your spirit, Jupiter will expand the feeling of emptiness you feel on a Sunday night until it is a vast, echoing canyon. It will make the comfort of the paycheck feel like a cage. This is not a curse. This is a call to build a home for your gifts. If you have been estranged from your family, your roots, your ancestors, Jupiter will expand the ache of that disconnection. It will bring ghosts to your dreams, not to haunt you, but to remind you that you did not begin with this life, that you are the result of a long line of survivors, and that their strength is available to you if you are willing to turn and face the source. This is not a burden. This is an invitation to come home to your own lineage. The process is one of emotional archaeology. You are not inventing anything new. You are uncovering what has been there all along, buried under layers of conditioning, compromise, and the simple human need to be safe. But Jupiter in Cancer declares that the old definition of safety has expired. True safety, it insists, is not the absence of risk. True safety is the profound, unshakable alignment of your inner world and your outer life. True safety is living in your own truth. The ruby gate is the threshold to that kind of safety. So how do you work with this? How do you cooperate with this immense benevolent pressure? You do not do it by thinking your way through it. The mind will try to rationalize, to bargain, to minimize. The mind is the keeper of the old order. It is terrified of the seller. You must bypass the mind and go directly to the body, to the feeling. This requires a practice. It requires a ritual. It requires that you create a sacred space to honor the opening of this gate. For the next 3 days, corresponding to this initial powerful surge, I am going to walk you through a practice. It is simple. It requires no special tools, but it is profoundly potent. It is a way of signaling to the cosmos and to your own soul that you are ready to cooperate, that you are ready to open the door. On the first day, today, you will need a single piece of paper and a pen, and you will need 5 minutes of uninterrupted silence. You are going to sit, close your eyes, and place your hands on your lower belly, where you have been feeling that heat. Breathe into that space. Do not try to change the feeling, just acknowledge it. Say silently to yourself, I feel you. I know you are a signal. I am listening. Then, I want you to ask the question inwardly. What is the truth that is ready now? Do not search for an answer with your mind. Wait. An image may arise, a name, a single word, a memory, a feeling. Whatever surfaces first, without judgment, that is it. It may not seem logical. It may feel small or impossibly large. It does not matter. Trust the first transmission from the seller. Then, open your eyes and write it down. Use a single sentence. Be as simple and as honest as you can be. I am no longer available for this kind of relationship. My body needs to rest. I need to say goodbye to this city. I am afraid to be alone, and it has cost me my freedom. I have to tell my story. Write the one sentence. This is not a list of grievances. This is the distillation of the wine. It is the one core truth that is pressing for release. Once it is written, fold the paper and place it somewhere safe, somewhere dark, in a drawer, inside a book. You are mirroring the process. You are taking what was in the deep dark of your unconscious and giving it form, and then you are placing it back into a ceremonial darkness, honoring its gestation. This is an act of profound self-recognition. You are not acting on it yet. You are simply naming it. You are telling the universe you have received the message. On the second day, you will take that piece of paper. You will also need a glass or a bowl of water. Water is the element of Cancer, the element of the emotional body, of cleansing and flow. You will go somewhere you can be alone, preferably where you can see the sky, but your own room is enough. You will read the sentence aloud one time. just once. Feel the vibration of the words in your chest, in your throat. This is you giving voice to what has been silent. It is a powerful act of sovereignty. Then, you will tear the paper into small pieces and place them in the water. Watch the ink begin to bleed. Watch the fibers of the paper begin to soften and dissolve. As you do this, your only job is to witness. You are witnessing the release of the old form. The truth itself is not being destroyed. Its container is. The rigid, silent paper form of that truth is being dissolved into the fluid, flowing element of emotion. You are releasing the story of why it had to be secret. You are releasing the fear around it, the shame, the guilt. You are separating the pure truth from the heavy cask it has been stored in. Stay with the water until the paper has lost its form, until it has become a pulp, a prayer returned to its elemental state. On the third day, you will take this water. You will not pour it down the drain. This is consecrated water now. It holds the essence of your released truth. You will take it outside. You will pour it onto the earth, at the base of a tree, into a patch of grass, into a potted plant on your balcony. It does not have to be a grand place. It simply has to be living earth. As you pour the water, you are completing the cycle. You have named the truth, air and spirit. You have dissolved its old form, water. And now you are grounding its potential into the world of form, earth. You are planting the seed of your new reality. You are not asking the earth to do anything. You are informing it. You are saying, "This is the nutrient I am now feeding my life with. This is the truth from which my new growth will spring." This 3-day practice aligns you with the initial surge of this Jupiter transit. It is a way of consciously engaging with the pressure, of giving it a sacred pathway to move through you, rather than letting it build up until it explodes in a crisis. A crisis is just a truth that has been ignored for too long. You do not have to wait for a crisis. You can choose the ceremony instead. Now let us speak about what comes after. Opening the door is the first step. Learning to live in a house with an open cellar is the next. For the next year, Jupiter will be illuminating this part of your life. It will bring opportunities to live out the truth you have just named. It will present you with choices that are aligned with that truth, and it will make it increasingly uncomfortable to make choices that are not. This will require a new kind of courage, not the courage of a warrior going into battle, but the courage of a gardener tending a new and precious seed. It is a quiet, consistent, daily courage. The courage to say no when your body feels a contraction. The courage to say yes when your body feels an expansion, even if your mind is terrified. The courage to be misunderstood for a little while as you recalibrate your life around your own emotional center. You will find that your need for emotional safety becomes paramount. You will no longer be able to tolerate emotional dissonance. The dinner party where everyone is smiling, but the air is thick with resentment, will become physically unbearable. The friendship based on mutual complaint rather than mutual uplift will suddenly feel draining. Your body will become a ruthlessly honest compass. It will lead you away from what is false and towards what is authentic. Your only job is to trust its signals. There will be grief. When you open the cellar and bring out the good wine, you realize how long you have been drinking stale water. There is a grief for the years spent living a smaller life than you needed to. A grief for the parts of yourself you starved in the name of keeping the peace. Let this grief come. Jupiter in Cancer is a time of sacred tears. Each tear is a cleansing of the old palate. It is making you ready to taste the richness of your own life. Do not rush this grief. It is part of the blessing. You may also find a profound pull towards your roots, a sudden interest in your grandmother's story, a desire to cook the food of your ancestors, a longing to visit the land where your family came from. This is Jupiter unearthing your inheritance, not money or property, but the emotional resilience, the spiritual gifts, the deep foundational strength that is your birthright. Explore this. Ask questions. Listen to the stories of the old ones. There is medicine there that you need for the road ahead. This is a journey from conditional living to unconditional belonging. Belonging to yourself, first and foremost. For 12 years, many of you have been operating from a place of seeking validation, of trying to earn your place, of contorting your emotional truth to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. That era is over. The ruby gate opens onto a path where your belonging is not in question. It is the starting point. You belong to the earth. You belong to your own soul. And from that place of profound internal security, you will build a life that is a true and honest home. This transit is a gift. It may not feel easy, because growth rarely is. The pressure of a seed breaking through the soil is immense, but it is the pressure of life, not of death. The heat you feel is not a fever. It is the warmth of a hearth being lit in the center of your being. The restlessness you feel is not anxiety. It is the stirring of a giant who has been asleep for too long. You did not find this message by accident. Something in you, the part of you that is connected to the great cosmic tides, recognized the shift and went searching for a language to describe it. Your soul knew. Your body knew. You are not behind. You are not late. You have arrived at this threshold at the exact right moment, with the exact right combination of weariness and readiness. You are weary enough of the old way to be willing to let it go, and you are ready enough for the new way to be willing to take the first, uncertain step. This is your moment. The gate does not stay open forever in this exact way. This particular combination of cosmic grace and internal pressure is a rare and precious window. Use it. Use it to be radically honest with yourself. Use it to reclaim the parts of your heart you have exiled. Use it to build a foundation of emotional truth so strong that no storm can ever again shake you from your center. The great king has returned. The guru is seated in the temple of your heart. The cellar door is unsealed. The wine of 12 years is ready. And it is for you. All of it. It is for you. In the space below, as an act of declaration to yourself and as a signal to the universe, I want you to write 4 simple words. Do not add anything else, just the words. The words are, the door is open. By writing this, you are not just typing on a screen. You are drawing a line in the sand. You are casting a vote for your own becoming. You are anchoring the intention of this sacred moment into the material world. And someone, scrolling through these comments, feeling the same pressure you feel, will see your words beneath these, and they will find the courage to write their own. Your declaration becomes a permission slip for another soul. I have spent countless hours in study, in meditation, listening to the celestial currents so that this message could be clear, so that the path through this powerful time could be illuminated for you. If you feel called to continue this work, to walk this path with guidance, subscribe and press the bell so you do not miss the transmissions to come. We have much to do. But for now, simply be with the truth that has emerged. Be with the heat. Be with the pressure. Know that it is the sign of a profound grace at work in your life. The door is open. Walk through.